A new Planet of the Apes movie has hit the theaters. This time, it aims not only to sell tickets, but also to be the first in a planned series of 9 films. Hello, how are you? My name is José Rey. I'm a film critic at Flixion, and thank you very much for playing this video where we will talk about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, a new movie in the Planet of the Apes franchise directed by Wes Ball. Planet of the Apes used to be one of the most underrated franchises in cinema. Beyond the global milestone achieved by the first 1968 film, the next 4 films in the saga didn't leave a lasting impression. Even after a forgettable attempt to remake it with the 2001 film directed by Tim Burton, it seemed there was no more room for intelligent apes on the big screen. However, the release of Rise of the Planet of the Apes, 2011, and the arrival of Caesar changed everything, as the need to continue this story was evident. This led to 2 sequels by Matt Reeves, the director of the latest The Batman. These 2 films completed a trilogy that successfully told the arc of Caesar and the origin of the Planet of the Apes. Now comes Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which has the challenging task of emulating the success of the 2011 project. If this movie is successful, it will develop into another trilogy. However, the producers have said that if they can, they will make 9 movies. Several generations after Caesar's story, the Earth is entirely dominated by apes. Noah, played by Owen Teague, is a young chimpanzee from a village specializing in raising eagles. He is preparing for a community ritual that bonds each ape with a bird to form a special connection. However, the day before the big event, due to something he does, masked apes, led by a gorilla, destroy his home. The motto, "Ape shall not kill ape," is no longer part of this world. After a fall, Noah is left unconscious and presumed dead. Upon waking and finding no one else in the village, he decides to search for answers. He won't be alone in this quest, as a mysterious human starts following him, and an orangutan helps him see the world differently. This film sets the foundation for what's to come in this new phase of the saga. Therefore, it must be a strong start. Many might think that only good action scenes and special effects are enough, but they are not. At the very least, we need to find new ways to answer the same question this story poses. Can apes and humans live together in peace? We can say with relief that Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes meets, perhaps just barely but it does, the requirements. Wes Ball's film skillfully uses all the information from the previous movies to its advantage. Especially the story of Caesar, which becomes a sort of religious idea within the film, creating an effect where the ideas of the past and the future are constantly in conflict. The villain of this story calls himself the new Caesar, despite not sharing Caesar's ideals. The big problem is that no one knows exactly what Caesar's true ideals were, as so much time has passed and no followers have spread Caesar's word. For example, our protagonist Noah had never heard of him. Speaking of the villain, it's worth noting that this self-proclaimed king and new Caesar, played by Kevin Durand, is not the typical ape who hates humans, but a progressive with a mission to acquire human artifacts and knowledge, even at the cost of ape lives. He is more of a blind fanatic of humans. However, it's worth mentioning that while the villain seeks the path of progress, our protagonist Noah remains faithful and steadfast in his ideals. He stays loyal to his small village, and despite receiving the call to adventure through hardship, he stays true to his beliefs. The third in the mix is May, played by Freya Allan, a young girl who follows Noah and eventually joins forces with him to defeat the king. She is the most interesting character because she has double intentions. Can a human be trusted? The answer is clear. No. May works for her species, and if she has to pull the trigger, she will. The character played by William H. Macy, despite having a minor role, provides the key insight. He tells May to stop thinking about the past and consider the rules of this new world. Both she and the entire franchise seem to ignore this idea. Hence, a new Caesar must emerge. It appears that Noah will be that new Caesar. So, everything we've mentioned, along with great special effects and several action scenes, makes Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes an enjoyable movie that is appreciated for how it continues to find interesting ways to tell the same story. At the same time, it's worth noting that the movie has sequences of events that are somewhat forgettable, and judging by that enigmatic ending, they feel more like things that need to happen to make the next movie, rather than events that are genuinely important. There are no post-credit scenes, but there's a sort of Marvel effect with its major hooks toward the end. Despite this, there is no way not to want to see the next installment of this story. This was my review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I hope you liked it, and thank you very much for staying until this part of the video. If you want and can, giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel would help us a lot.
I've been doing post-apocalyptic setting stuff for quite a while now, actually, even before I became a director. I've been making shorts that have been following this stuff. And I've always liked the romantic notion of starting over, of something new happening, right? And so I didn't want to do kind of the smoldering ashes of a world thing. And obviously, and I think in Dawn and War in particular, you do kind of set up this idea that mankind is on their last breath, essentially, and infrastructure is almost gone, and you leave that last movie with essentially seeing humans destroying themselves in a final kind of battle. And so I thought what was going to be really fun is to have a big cut, in our case, a couple hundred years, where what would happen when humans are gone.